All right, so we're sitting here with Trademark today. We're gonna do it a little different this week. We're gonna do an interview just so you guys can get to know him a little better. So, what's your actual full name?
My name's Trademark Males.
Okay. And obviously your rapper name is Trademark. Why do you call yourself Trademark?
It's funny. I came up with the name back in like fourth grade when I was like messing around on the playground one day. I was like, oh, if I was a rapper, I bet I'd call myself Trademark because my name's Trademark Males, and if you take my initials, it's like TM. So I was like, oh, that's cool. Like TM, call myself Trademark, and also the trademark. What a trademark is like you're putting your stamp, your whole authenticity on something, and being like, hey, this is mine. That's kind of what I want to do for the rap game, is like come through and be like, hey, this part of the rap game is mine. This is how I view myself, and this is my little niche.
Cool. All right. So where are you from?
Originally, I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, but I've been living in Tucson for like the past 7 years, I believe, and this just feels like home now. Not that I have anything against Phoenix. Phoenix is where I'm born. I always just rep Arizona, but I reside in Tucson now.
Awesome. All right. So what got you into music?
Uh, it's funny. I never really used to listen to all that much music. I just listened to whatever was on the radio. But as I grew, I think one of the biggest impacts was Linkin Park. Linkin Park's like my favorite band ever. Like still to this day, I love them.
Mm-hmm.
But I listened to them a lot, and I don't know. I think I really got into musicals too. I thought the musicals like Chicago, Phantom of the Opera, stuff like that, Wicked. That helped really invigorate me as far as music goes. I thought that was really cool.
So what made you go into specifically rap?
Well, I like listening to a bunch of different genres. I'm all over the place. But as far as rap goes, I don't know. I never really listened to it way back in the day. I know my dad used to get mad at that too. He'd be like, "Oh, you need to listen to your culture. You're not black enough." And I'm just like, ah. I'm like, I'm sorry. I just want to listen to my Linkin Park and Green Day.
Yeah.
But no, with rap, I started listening to it probably, just maybe 5-6 years ago. I always listened to Eminem, but I really started getting into the underground scene and stuff like that, and being like, oh man, these guys are crazy lyrical. I'm like, this is way better than all the stuff that you hear on the radio. No offense to people on the radio, they're doing their own thing, but for me, it hit a part of my soul that I never even knew was there before, and all the struggles and problems that people are going through. It just seems so real, and it's not the more commercial side of things. And I was just like, I can relate to this. This makes sense to me. This is kind of how my life has been.
Oh yeah. So besides Eminem, what other musicians and artists inspire you?
Well, definitely Logic. Hobson, Chris Webby, Jaron Benton. Pretty much all of what used to be Funk Volume. Dizzy Wright, Swizz. Throw back a little bit. Obviously got the Wu-Tang Clan, Dr. Dre in there, stuff like that. It's Method Man. He's big. And oh man, definitely Royce da 5'9" too. That dude's killer. Royce da 5'9", Locksmith, those really lyrical, hard hitting types really get me too.
Okay, so how would you describe your style?
My style, that's a very good question. We're discovering it together, but no, I really I'm really nerdy, I'm not gonna sit here and try to be oh, if I see you on the street, I'm gonna run up on you, that's never been me, that's never gonna be me. No, I like to just sit around and play video games, and I used to be into drawing comics and doing stuff like that. I'm really nerdy. I love superheroes. I love, action-y, kung fu movies and stuff like that. So, I like to incorporate a lot of nerd references and styles into my flow. So I'll be hit you with the sword like Leonardo from Ninja Turtles, or something just stupid like that. But I really the emphasis of as far as being in rap is those being really lyrical and coming up with things off the top of your head nobody would think of. You're oh my gosh, that's amazing. You're the way you're turning a phrase or flipping words. So I like to combine nerdiness with introspective, kind of like makes you think type stuff, where you want to go back and listen to the song, 3 or 4 times just to make sure you catch everything and all the ways, it got spit.
All right. So what do you hope to accomplish by becoming a rapper?
Well, I think it's really important to, pursue what you love, and, whether that's, music for some people, it could be drawing, painting, it could be, driving cars professionally, like NASCAR, being a football player, whatever it is that makes you happy. Like, life is legitimately too short not to do what you actually want to do.
Oh, yeah.
And so to sit there and just, work a dead-end job where you're not even happy, or sit there and be like, oh my gosh, like, what is my life? And you're just kind of going through the motions, like, are you even really living then? So, like, yeah, it's true, not everybody's gonna, like, sit there and go out and, be the next Peyton Manning and stuff like that. And it's good to be realistic too, but I mean, why, like, so many people give up on their dreams before they even, like, really give them a chance. So, like, what I want to do is I want to, like, help inspire people, like, hey, this is what I'm doing. Like, yeah, you may look a little foolish. Maybe you're, like, stepping out of your comfort zone, but, if I can do it, if I'm, like, brave enough to step out of my comfort zone and do something that I'm, like, really passionate about and I want to pursue, like, I'm hoping that it'll inspire them to do the same and be like, you know what, if he can do it, maybe I can do something risky too. Maybe I can pursue my passions.
Oh, man. So what would you say was the first hip-hop song that influenced you?
Oh, man. It's funny. My friend Darrell, shout out Darrell, he gave me this Eminem CD back when I was, like, I don't know, like 8, 9 years old. Like, I should not have been listening to Eminem at this point. And so he, like, gave me, it was like a bunch of just, like, random Eminem songs. And like, Kim was on there. I was just like, oh my God. But there's this one song that he did with D12. It was like Eminem and D12, and it's called Purple Pills. And I remember I used to listen to that song so much, and, like, I didn't even understand what they were saying in the song. Like, I had no concept of what drugs were or anything. And so for the longest time, I thought they were saying, like, purple hills and, like, these blue and yellow purple hills. And we're just like, I don't know what this is about. This is like some crazy, like, fairyland. But I was just like, I don't know. It's so catchy. Like, so I remember, like, just, like, I always really loved that hook. And just listen to that, and, like, the way he just comes in, he's like, cool, calm, just like my mom. And I'm just like, ooh, like it's, like, smooth, it's all just kind of like almost like a run-on sentence, but it's, like, it's just fluid.
Yeah.
That flow is crazy.
All right. So looking forward, what do you hope to accomplish within a year?
Oh, man, within a year, I would really love to be consistently doing shows, like, really growing my fan base, letting people, like, know outside of Tucson, especially, outside of Arizona, who I am, to be able to hopefully at least have a couple shows outside of the state, be on the road a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I'd like to be doing this full time. I'd like to be, selling out venues. It might sound a bit ridiculous. It might like I'm reaching or something like that, but I have goals and I want to pursue them. Like, if your main goal is to be like, oh, hopefully I can fill up most of an auditorium. Like, no, like, you want those kind of goals, or you're just like, when you tell people about them, they look at you like you're ridiculous. Like, oh, I want in 3 years, 5 years, I want to be selling out Madison Square Garden. Is that gonna happen? No, it's not gonna happen. But, like, if you have that kind of mindset, that mentality, like, who's to say it won't happen in 4 years? Like,
oh yeah. All right.
Some people quit when they're so close, and like, you just got to keep pushing,
Oh, yeah, for sure. So, do you have a hard time staying motivated?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I work at Albertsons full time as well, overnights.
Oh.
And so on top of doing this, I'll come home after, putting in 9-hour shift or whatever, and I'm just like, oh, I just want to, like, sleep, or, like, you want to, like, veg out and watch Netflix, or, anything to just kind of, like, switch your mind off for a while, because you just did so much, like, physical and mental work. You're just like, I don't want to deal with anybody or anything right now. I just want to, like, escape from the world.
Yeah. So what would you say helps keep you motivated?
If I sit around and if I listen to, like, some of, like, my favorite, like, hip hop rap songs, stuff like that. Like I'm just like, oh man, it really gets me like pumped up again. I'm just like, oh man, I want to write stuff like that. It makes people just go, yes, like I need some of that in my life, you know. So I'll listen to that. Friends a lot too. I'll sit there and talk to some of my roommates. I'll talk to I have a couple of like close personal friends that like really believe in me, which is amazing because a lot of times I have a hard time believing in myself, but talking to them like really keeps me inspired and just keeping like holding myself accountable, like putting myself out there with like I do freestyle Fridays, so every single Friday I'm like writing that next amazing like verse that I'm gonna like be spitting or going off the top of the dome with it. So by holding myself accountable, like I can't afford to be lazy because it's like if I don't do it, then it's not coming out, and then everyone's like, oh, I knew he couldn't do it. Every single Friday I had to. I'm not consistent. I'm falling off. So I won't afford like my mind state won't allow me to like sit there and fail myself. So I'm just like, hey, you're failing. To everyone like get back on track.
Got to keep challenging yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, I appreciate the interview. I hope you guys got to know Tevin, aka Trademark, a little better, and let us know what you guys think. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week.
Damn, Trademark. I was like, wait, what if I wasn't recording?